Ready. Play.
Okay, so Joao, not a very bad start for your first grass court match. How do you feel on the grass?
Well, feeling good. I arrived on Thursday, so I had a bit of practice here, and the type that I play a bit more aggressively, it goes good. I mean, I go aggressively, and the game on grass is very quick. The points are very quick, so I like playing on grass. It's my third time, but first on pro.
Yeah.
So feeling so good and winning with ex-top 20 guy, Kyle. Well, it means a lot for the first round. And,
yeah, he's obviously a very good player on grass as well. How does this give you confidence going into the summer?
For sure, yes. It was a good match, and I'm practicing a lot of my serve. So today was a good opportunity to close the doors my serve. So yeah, it gives me more confidence to go through this week.
And where are you thinking of playing this summer? Are you going to stay in Europe, in Germany on the grass, or?
I'll play here, Nottingham and New Clay, and then if I go into Wimbledon, I'll play Wimbledon, and well, let's see.
Have you thought about playing Wimbledon? Is that something that you used to watch on TV, or?
It's my favorite Grand Slam, my favorite tournament. Well, it's a dream if I play, but let's see.
Yeah. And you started the year 700 in the Worlds. You're now kind of knocking on the door at 200. Is that surprising you that it's happened at this age, at 17, or not surprising?
Yeah, I talk a lot of that in the interviews that I say. It's very surprising because I'm like breaking the expectations of myself, not others people. But well, I'm very happy the way that I'm playing, and the way that I'm improving. And I know I'm still in the process. I can go further and further, but that's keep the process humble and calm.
Yeah, it's key to stay humble, and I know it's quite hard to set objectives, but do you have any objectives for the summer or for the rest of the year?
I would say play a Grand Slam this year. I'm trying. I almost hit in Roland Garros. Let's see if I get into Wimbledon and maybe US Open. So maybe these are the objectives.
And are you watching the French Open at the moment?
For sure, yes.
Who do you think is going to win?
It's difficult. It's open. I think maybe Sinner. I'm cheering for him. I like.
And when you're watching kind of the top guys, like these guys playing in Grand Slam semi-finals and so what, does this give you inspiration, and does it make you want to be there one day as well?
For sure. Watching Carlos and Sinner winning those Grand Slams so young, it gives me inspiration to go for it.
Thank you, Joao.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
Ready. Play.
You join us here for the Seville ATP Challenger. Rock up a day to serve. What's he gonna serve up? Some tapas? A good first serve. Gives him a 40-love lead. This all Spanish affair against Cabellas Baena. Not known for his big serving, but that was decent. That was not Let the tennis do the talking. One-handed backhand clips the net. Bit fortunate there. Drop shot. Oh, you cannot teach that. You cannot teach that. Takes a 2-1 lead.
Ready. Play.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
Ready. Play.
Anyway, crystal ball. How does Fonseca's 2025 look? Well, it would be a big disappointment if he didn't break the top 100. I think at first he might actually fall a bit in the rankings because he has that Rio quarter to defend. He has Bucharest to defend. I think he's going to be playing like a more... I don't think he's going to be playing the most clay-heavy schedule. I think he'll be mixing it up. But generally speaking, yeah, I mean, top 100 definitely. Let's say an ATP semi somewhere. Maybe the kind of season that gets you to like 60, 55 in the rankings, like Shang this year or something like that. I know it's not maybe necessarily the boldest. It's not the most like out there prediction, but I'm trying to be a realist about it. I think there's still lots to learn. And time and time again, we're seeing that. But I don't know. I kind of like what he's doing right now, you know, playing Europe, playing these indoor hard events, not really like seeking cheap points in events he could be winning. Well, could be winning more matches in, but really seemingly just looking forward into the future. I don't know. It's of course still very unclear whether like when he gets to the top, he will be more like a inconsistent player like Shelton, or just develops into an efficiency beast like Sinner. Many things can happen, but yeah, I mean top 100 at least, and after that anything will be fine. Anything will be a bonus, I think.
Do you see the wheels coming off in a way, in a sort of Holger Rune-esque manner, albeit much further down the rankings, and he never, or at least for the next couple of years, doesn't reach the potential that many of us think he has?
I mean, certainly a possibility if you have a game that's this hit or miss. I think it's just something we don't really know or estimate at the moment. But yeah, I would say that it's a possibility when you have a game like this. It's basically a question of like how good can you develop your return skills, especially. Seems like that's usually the deal breaker between like players who can get to the elite level and players who can just stay there for ages. So I think it's all in the nurture aspect now rather than the nature aspect. In the nature aspect, he's got like 10 out of 10. In the nurture, it's getting there, and we'll see how far along he will be by next year.
What's his biggest weakness right now?
Return skills, handling big weight of shot coming at him as well. Like, just the fact that when he's rushed, the ground strokes, they are suffering. And yeah, return for sure. Inexperience as well, in the sense that he's just playing a bit too mindlessly a lot of the time. Someone like Choinski last week, he really shouldn't be losing matches like this, I guess.
That's twice this year, right? He's lost to him, of course, in the
first but Story was a bit of a different case, I guess.
Yeah. Which challenge?
He wasn't this far along. It was on a surface that suits Choinski's game more.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't.
Ready? Play.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
Ready? Play.
Okay, so Joao, not a very bad start for your first grass court match. How do you feel on the grass?
Well, feeling good. I arrived on Thursday, so I had a bit of practice in here, and the type that I play a bit more aggressively, it goes good. I mean, I go aggressively, and the game on grass is it's very quick. The points are very quick, so I like playing on grass. It's my third time, but first on pro.
Yeah.
So feeling so good and winning with ex-top 20 guy, Kyle. Well, it means a lot for the first round. And,
Yeah, he's obviously a very good player on grass as well. How does this give you confidence going into the summer?
For sure, yes. For sure, yes. It was a good match. And, I'm practicing a lot of my serve, so today was a good opportunity to close the doors, my serve. So, yeah, it gives me more confidence to go through this week.
And where are you thinking of playing this summer? Are you going to stay in Europe, in Germany on the grass, or?
I'll play here, Nottingham and New Clay, and then if I go into Wimbledon, I'll play Wimbledon, and let's see.
Have you thought about playing Wimbledon? Is that something that you used to watch on TV, or?
It's my favorite Grand Slam, my favorite tournament. It's a dream if I play, but let's see.
Yeah. And you started the year 700 in the Worlds. You're now kind of knocking on the door at 200. Is that surprising you that it's happened at this age, at 17, or not surprising?
Yeah, I talk a lot of that in the interviews that I say. It's very surprising because I'm like breaking the expectations of myself, not others people. But I'm very happy to the way that I'm playing, and the way that I'm improving. And I know I'm still in the process. I can go further and further, but that's keep the process humble and calm.
Yeah, it's key to stay humble, and I know it's quite hard to set objectives, but do you have any objectives for the summer or for the rest of the year?
I would say play a Grand Slam this year. I'm trying. I almost hit in Roland Garros. Let's see if I get into Wimbledon and maybe US Open. So maybe these are the objectives.
And are you watching the French Open at the moment?
For sure, yes.
Who do you think is going to win?
It's difficult. It's open. I think maybe Sinner. I'm cheering for him. I like.
And when you're watching kind of the top guys, like these guys playing in Grand Slam semi-finals and so what, does this give you inspiration, and does it make you want to be there one day as well?
For sure. Watching Carlos and Sinner winning those Grand Slams so young, it gives me inspiration to go for it.
Thank you, Joao.
Ready? Play.
With Team Gasquet, potentially, Rafa, and we don't know how many more years Novak will be on tour. Is there a player that you really want to play before they finish?
Yeah, sure. Novak Djokovic.
You want to play? Is there a player that you really want to play before they finish?
Yeah, sure. Novak Djokovic.
Before they finish?
Yeah, sure. Novak Djokovic. Yeah, sure. Novak Djokovic.
You want to play?
Ready? Play.
My name is Clara Towson, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
I am Francisca George, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Susan Leemans and I'm a friend of the show.
My name is Zainab Summers and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hey guys, my name is Sasha Vickery and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Harris and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Jaime Faria and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Yes.
Take one. Well done.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Paulini and I'm a friend of the show.
Wow, Jasmine, you got it in one time.
Ready. Play.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever time it is in the world, wherever you are tuning in from. As you can see, Ozan there suggesting a nervous start for Cerundolo and a very good start for Joao Fonseca in that Cerundolo is serving first and Fonseca won the first 3 points. Cerundolo is still hanging on though, yet to be broken, but it is not looking good for the Argentinian. But he's like Joao in many ways. Both have had to come through some pretty epic battles this week. Of course, Cerundolo knocking out the number 1 seed in the in the quarterfinal against Alexander Zverev, and Joao as well having to save match points in one of his matches en route to this final. We know that he's going to be playing, Fonseca is going to be playing Alexander Muller in the first round of the Rio Open, which gets underway next week. And good news for him in terms of today and this final, he has got that break of serve. Do let me know your thoughts in the live chat. Do you see Joao winning this match? Do you see it being a Cerundolo win? Let us know how you see this match unfolding. Some other comments in the live chat. For me, this is a 50-50. Although Andre suggesting that cheering for Joao, but for me, it's like 80-20 in favor of Cerundolo. He says, I'm guessing he's Brazilian, given his optimism or hope, let's say, I should say, for Joao, and Joao is off the mark in terms of breaking his opponent's serve, but he's already lost the first point on his serve. Ghosty, I would love to have someone on from the PTPA. They have yet to respond to my overtures, but we will keep going. Enjoy Walmart. Yeah. Hey, Jake, as well. By the way, Jake, I see, have you got 2 YouTube accounts? I see Nerlan is in the chat as well. 60-40 Cerundolo is what Jake is suggesting. Yeah, I was thinking 50-50 before the match got underway. Manasfi here is going 70-30 in favor of Fonseca. So great to see lots of people getting their predictions in. Lots of people watching on Twitch as well. Please do comment if you're watching on Twitter as well. You can also join in the fun by commenting, just like Ozan has done here. You can comment and also give us a retweet and a share and all that other jazz. Nerlan there asking about people if they are members. Yes, please do become a member. Hit that join button below the screen. By the way, Damien will be here shortly, as will Vanch. And as soon as they are here, I will be able to leave and go and watch Jaime Faria try to qualify as he seeks revenge against the younger Cerundolo, who's in action in qualifying in the Rio Open. Cerundolo here applying a little bit of pressure to the Joao serve, 15-30. Let us know as well in the live chat your thoughts on, let's talk about Cerundolo a little bit. Obviously had a very tough start to the year last year. I think a lot of losses. Not a great Argentina Open. I remember seeing, or I saw a tweet today from Mario Bacardi on that topic, what difference a year makes in terms of him making the final. Oh, you're using your iPad. Look at you, Jake, with all the technology on iPad. And I love the picture, by the way. You would think so, Matthew. Of course, yesterday, Fonseca did have some issues, I believe, with his abs. And if you're watching on YouTube, please hit like and, of course, subscribe to the channel. Yeah, lots of people watching on Twitch. Do get in the comments section on Twitch, just like someone else did earlier. I do apologize. I've forgotten who that was, but somebody said hello from Twitch. Venus2455. Wonderful that you are joining in the fun by saying hello, but also get your thoughts and predictions in the live chat. Just check the odds to win Roland Garros, and currently Fonseca is 10th favorite to the WATCHALONG. As Cerundolo, by the way, gets the break back. So we've had 2 service games so far and 2 breaks of serve. Of course, they are playing on a clay surface, at least for now in Buenos Aires. There is a lot of talk about changing to a hard court. Maybe they're desperately trying to up the ante there from a 250 to a 500, and therefore maybe have the carrot of doing so, but they have to change to the hard court. I know Damien is not a fan. I'm not a fan either of it. I think the hard court season is lengthy enough and dominates the tour enough that maybe a few other courts would be useful. Grass court season, of course, is incredibly short. So are we going to get our first hold of serve here as Cerundolo serves at 15 love? ATP Weekly will be tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, where we look back on Buenos Aires and look forward to Rio. In fact, I can set that up now. I know Damien will be in the chair for that one. Talking of which, I think I can see him backstage. He should be with us any second. So that means I can order an Uber.
You can order an Uber, okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Okay.
When is Vange getting here?
Yeah, he's coming. Yeah, is everything okay?
No, it's fine. I'll just need like 20 minutes of, let's say, being, 80% attentive, and it's hard to do it on your own.
I
but that's
see.
fine.
Yeah.
If he's coming, that's fine.
Vange is definitely coming. He's just coming back from the gym, but I don't know when he's going to be here. What else are you watching, by the way?
Nothing. I have to write something, but I can do it while watching this.
Let me just see.
Oh, it's fine. I mean, go to Rio,
Yeah, I know. I want to try and catch Shami. He's starting in 40 minutes.
All right, because today they're starting 1 hour later. Okay, so it's not that bad then. Okay.
Yeah. No.
I was thinking with the start time of yesterday. By the way, not the most pleasant scheduling, right, for the qualies.
In terms of
fans, and stuff like that.
You mean because it's so late starting?
No, I'm just thinking 4 at the same time.
Oh, I see. Yeah, today. Yeah, they could have spread it out a bit more, but yeah. I mean, yes,
they clearly don't care. Like, they just want to get the qualifying done. They don't care about the fans.
Yeah, and that's a pity because actually there's a lot of fans there. I mean, the stadium was half full yesterday, but that was also because half the stadium was baked in sunshine, so everyone was all on one side. I'm talking about the Google Curtain Stadium, although I know Jaime today is playing on a different court, and he's obviously seeking revenge against the younger Cerundolo.
Right, yeah. You were talking about this matchup potentially happening, and we do have it here.
What about Garin, by the way? Garin losing.
Garin, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. More disappointments coming his way, despite a pretty nice start to the season. Joao Lucas Reis da Silva took a set.
I know, and it was competitive throughout, to be honest with you. I mean, the third set, he had chances. It was a good match. Carousel took the first set as well.
Yeah, I love that for them. I mean, Karu obviously such a random WTA ATP 500 appearance after so many years.
I think he was rocking a moustache yesterday as well. I didn't see
he almost always does.
Okay, I didn't see his match. I just saw him just before as he was walking to the court. I said hello.
Oh yeah, it's
And Vansh
definitely
here.
part of his look.
Hey guys.
Hey Vansh. How am I, Jake? I actually lost a pretty tight table tennis match, and I need a pick me up. So I need this final to be good.
Joao Fonseca is 10th favourite for the French Open, by the way.
So, I mean, it's not as ridiculous as it sounds, because obviously he has a higher chance of winning it than, let me throw out an example.
Andrei Rublev.
Igor Dimitrov, Andrei Rublev, yeah. Like, because he theoretically has the level to beat all of these guys. So like, why not? Obviously, he won't do it, I think, but yeah, it tracks to me, at least. It's like Francisco Cerundolo, speaking of him. I mean, we've got him on our screens right now. Like, he is also, to me, a top 10, top 15 favorite for the French. In the same way that, like, yeah, he's just more likely to do it than someone who's higher ranked, but just more, even in terms of his quality.
Yeah, I mean, him and Musetti on clay.
Yeah.
Top 10, top 15. Same boat,
I don't hate that, yeah. Basically, I was just telling John that, like, I will be maybe like 80% attentive for the first 20 minutes or so of the stream. So let's see how we can kind of like figure this out. But basically, I just put on the match right now, and I see Fonseca took it to all. Any info you have on the back injury from yesterday?
No, I mean, he seemed to recover pretty fast in the third set. It doesn't seem to be bothering him at all right now. So for now, it looks okay.
How do you feel about your 2 titles in 3 events prediction?
Honestly, not so bad, Like, he wins this. It's the same field again in Rio. And I'm assuming he's going to be playing Santiago too. So I don't think it's that bold.
Well, it's not that bold right now, I guess. But yeah, today probably has to win. I doubt he can win Rio after just simply, physically.
Yeah, probably not going to win Rio. But
so I think you'd have to rely on the 250s, yeah.
Yeah.
But it seems like a possibility nonetheless.
Are there any players that are not playing that didn't play Buenos Aires, they're playing Rio, that you think are like, I don't know, threats when it comes to his win?
I mean, who is even in that position, to be honest? I'm not even sure. Like Shevchenko, probably not a threat. But obviously the Brazilians as well.
Musetti, is he going to be playing Rio? I mean,
Musetti played both, yeah. So he doesn't count.
He did, but he withdrew from this week, right? He had something.
Yes, he withdrew ahead of the match against Pedro Martinez. It was a soleus muscle.
Okay, yeah.
Which apparently is calf, more or less.
So that may not
in the
heal
calf area.
in time. That may not heal in time for Rio.
May not, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously we don't have, I mean, you asked about the players we have in Rio, but we didn't in Buenos Aires, but there's also a certain like omission that we had in Buenos Aires, and that's Holger Rune.
Oh yeah, Holger is not going to be in Rio either. Okay.
Yep. So so that's also quite important, even though I don't think Holger is winning the event, but he still would have been a big name. Maybe it's just going to be Zverev. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's love 30 now because Cerundolo, I mean, he went for this drop shot, but it was kind of a throwaway. It's a good serve.
I don't know, Keen, if I'm there with you on that Kyrian Joquet comment. I mean, he can be like a Lestienne-ish ceiling, right? I mean, if he improves his first serve the same way that Dan Constant did, I don't know. Definitely a skillful player. Like, I think if he was a lefty, we'd be putting him right next to like Gaston and Moutet. So I don't know if I'm there with you on this. Yeah, Christian Harrison doing some insane stuff these last 2 weeks. There was also a question about the Delray final coming up, ADF and Kecmanovic. Any opinions on that? Like, personally, I'm not excited about it at all.
I'm not that excited either for some reason. You know, all the names that I thought would bring more excitement, they didn't actually get there. Like even Matteo Rinaldi, I think would have been exciting.
Yeah,
in the final. But
here he's kind of like due an ATP Tour final. Well, ADF was due an ATP Tour final too, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, for a player of his caliber, it feels like a crime that he's only been to 2 finals, and one of them was Monte Carlo, but nothing since or before. So obviously, it would be pretty massive for him if he can get this over Kecmanovic. I was a little bit worried about him in the semifinal because he had that back injury timeout against Fritz before the second set tiebreak, and it looked like he kind of just got through the tiebreak, but I was concerned about how he might pull up, and it seemed like he pulled up pretty fine. So as long as that's not an issue, I mean, Kecmanovic is maybe the more reliable player to win this. He has only won he's only won 1 title as well, right? 2020 he won Kitzbühel, but nothing.
Yeah, but a few finals, including
yeah.
that, right? 2 years ago. Well,
yeah, and he also leads the head-to-head 4-0 in this. So if you're asking me who's my favorite, I would probably pick Kecmanovic, but I think ADF winning would be the better story for sure.
Yeah, I didn't know about the head-to-head, to be honest, but I would go Kecmanovic too. I mean, he just seems to love Delray, and well, I haven't been watching too much of Davidovich Fokina's run, to be honest, because I was waking up for these early Indian challengers, so like late Delray matches, they weren't really possible for me. But I also heard about all these, like, yeah, as you mentioned, the Fritz issues, and I don't know. Was expecting Arnaldi to win, but he just, against any defender, he just makes 100 unforced errors. And like, not even, I'm not saying that Davidovich Fokina is necessarily a defender, but like, he's quick, and that's
very
it.
fast,
It's enough in this matchup a lot of the times. Lerner Tien also very close to beating Arnaldi this week.
Lerner Tien should have won that match. But, yeah, I mean, obviously he was right there. Yeah. Break chances for a double break. He served for the match, 2 points away. A lot of chances, but oh yeah, maybe 3-0 at ATP level, but I'll include it because I also think they should count.
Nice, Vansh. Good to see I'm getting through to you at least a little bit. Will Kecmanovic be the only player this year to win doubles and singles in the same event? I think last year there were 2 of them, like Jordan Thompson and then someone else as well. So maybe it can happen. I think in challengers it only happened 3 times over 200 events, so it's definitely quite rare. What age did Federer sign Fonseca up to On, and did Federer personally get involved to help persuade him? I don't know. We'd have to read about it, but like definitely more or less since we know Fonseca, he's been with On. So he was like, what, 15, 16? He was definitely the third guy after Shelton and Świątek. Oh yeah, Jake. Very nice that you're going to Glasgow. Have fun. I saw that the main draw lineup is really, really strong. There's a lot of great opening round clashes. Of course, I am more than welcomes. I'm more than fine with you asking me, as you said earlier, like what's kind of like the match to watch. I think there will be a lot of good answers looking at the draw. Was there much difference in quality between the Sabanovs? Honestly, Keen, I couldn't tell you. Like, if they didn't have, like, one of them has a one-hander and the other has a two-hander, I would not be able to separate them at all. So I'm probably not the best guy to ask. Plus, like in doubles, the fact that they have a one-hander and two-hander, like sometimes you don't even spot it because they just don't have to hit them too much. So yeah, I don't know if Ivan or Mate is like a better player or not. So, to be honest with you, no idea at all. I always just think of them as an entity rather than as separate players. But yeah, after 6 games, do we have any takeaways so far?
Nothing massive. I do think Fonseca is playing a little bit safer in terms of his shot selection. It's not quite like the opening set against Korea or even the first set yesterday, where he was just going for a lot more. It seems like he's actually playing a lot more, within himself. He's in a lot of these rallies. Oh, and he's serving pretty well too.
In a way, that's something he picked up during this event.
Like the tennis that he played to save the match points, and then that 4-game run that he had against Navone. He played different than we're used to seeing him. So he's been like very gritty this tournament since the Echeverry match.
Yeah, very gritty and not too greedy, and that's been working out so far. I did hear greedy at first, that's why I it came easy, but yeah, I know what you mean. It's a round where, like, I think if he wins the title, some people will be like freaking out completely and saying that this changes their opinion of him or something like that. Like, to me, yeah, it could have gone sideways many times, but to me, obviously, I don't think Fonseca has like that much to prove.
Yeah, I would like to see a matchup with him against either Sinner or Alcaraz or Zverev.
We're gonna get one this year, right? Like at least one in this combination. Yeah.
I saw Andy Murray tweeted, "I can't wait for the next Alcaraz versus Fonseca match."
He did actually. Yeah, I saw some people took offense with that. Just because he mentioned Alcaraz, he didn't mention Sinner.
Oh, and he didn't mention Djokovic, the guy that he's.
Yeah, Fonseca Djokovic. Maybe he doesn't want to see Fonseca Djokovic because he knows that Novak would lose or something like that.
Oh wow, that's an interesting question. We have some questions about Sakari versus Raducanu. I didn't actually watch the match, but I wasn't too surprised when I saw the score. Sakari's been, kind of struggling, and what we've been saying about the.
I actually don't know what happened. So what was the score?
6-4, 6-2, Emma.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So pretty decisive.
I was like driving and playing the last 4 hours. So
just like their first 2 meetings, U.S. Open and Wimbledon.
Since 220, Keen, I think it's either Cerundolo or Miller, maybe.
Oh, probably Cerundolo. Probably Juan Manuel. Fortunately.
Yeah. Because of your time frame, I think you took Londero. Well, Londero was probably better, but like Basic out of the equation, he would have been a fine shout too. But yeah, probably Juanma. Not, of course, the Francisco Cerundolo we're watching right now, but the Juan Manuel Cerundolo, who will be playing in 25 minutes in the final round of qualifying in Rio de Janeiro.
Nishioka. No, Nishioka is definitely not one of the worst, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's won 4 titles, right?
Yeah.
He's like over the last decade, like he's just there, literally. Like whenever he's not injured, he's there as a part of the circuit, and as a part of the circuit that can always win a 250 somewhere.
He also has a 500 final since 2020, and
yep.
EC. So and he has also made second weeks of slams. So no, definitely not.
Surely not Nishioka. Some would probably make the case for Thiago Seyboth too, but sort of because of that Medvedev,
but his top level, it's.
Yeah. Because
pretty high.
we saw that top level again since he's not really in the conversation, but
Yeah.
he would have been. If that's like resurgence in 2023 didn't happen, then he would have been for sure.
Yeah.
Tanasi Kokinakis, huh? No, I'm just saying that so that
Hmm.
Kim gets angry. But yeah, it's definitely not the case. By the way, Cerundolo from 40-15, just making a lot of +1 forehand errors. Not
Yeah.
much more to add on that. So obviously good on Fonseca for putting the returns in play, but that's been the story of the last few points. Where are you on your stream at the moment?
I'm at deuce.
Okay.
Well, he just saved a break point, so now he's gonna have another chance. And yeah, this is one of those errors. I think it's pretty smart that Fonseca is going down the middle on a lot of these returns, actually. You know, not giving Cerundolo that angle to work with. Just making him create. And right now he's not putting it in the court, so. So yeah, break point here. Okay, that's a good first serve. Cerundolo's going to go for the swing volley, but it's going to hit the top of the net. It's going to go wide. So Fonseca with the break, Cerundolo will certainly regret that game. He was up 40-15. Should have held. But Joao so far kind of doing what he's needed to. Not really overplaying, just playing within himself. Nice deep returns down the middle, forcing Cerundolo to go for that little extra, go for the lines. That's good. It's been a pretty mature performance so far in the last 7 games, would you say? And he actually hasn't been serving all that great, but in terms of his first serve, but the second serve is working out just fine. And what do you think, like for Cerundolo? What's the one area in his game that you think is like holding him back from achieving more? It's definitely got to be the serve, right?
Yeah, I mean, serve is a little, off clay especially. It's not really like a major weapon. The backhand is pretty mediocre as well. But I don't know if it's actually like anything in specific. He does have the top level to like hang with anybody on any surface too.
Yeah, he has a very good record against top 10 players, right? He's like 12 and 13.
Yeah,
it's very good.
He just needs to like produce it, 5, 6, 7 matches in a row in order to get a massive result, and that's, I guess, the tough part.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I mean, on clay, I don't think his serve is holding him back.
No, not on clay, no, for sure. Like Roland Garros, he's had 2 really good chances now to make the quarters. These last 2 really tough 5-setters against Runa, and then last year, of course, Djokovic.
Yeah, I think that if he can like repeat that, most years, that would be fantastic as well. Back-to-back 4th rounds, it's a really great achievement, especially with a playstyle of like usually we're saying he's not consistent at all. The best of 5 format also is pretty nice for him. Like you can drop a set playing like, a full and there's no punishment really.
Yeah.
And after that, he just picks it up and then has that ball striking quality to recover.
Yeah, I mean, he was outplaying Alex de Minaur for the first 2 sets of the Australian Open match this year. He loses that second set in a tiebreak. He just has this dip. Alex has no dips basically, and then just ends up winning it in 4. But that was kind of another spot where he's played a top player pretty tight in majors, but still looking for that quarterfinal, I guess.
Well, Fonseca getting like an obscene forehand cross-court winner here. Got the break, so just trying to front run now.
Okay, yeah, that's the forehand that Cerundolo really likes to hit as well. I mean, they both like that forehand, of course. On the outside.
One could argue any ball that falls to their forehand they like.
Yeah.
But of course, it's a little more complicated than that.
So big point here, 30 all. Fonseca's actually been serving like 50% so far, but when he's making them, he's not lost a single point. It's just like that. Yeah, on the second serve as well, you know, it's just so much that heavy kick, get it above Cerundolo's strike zone on the, you know, above shoulder height where he's not as comfortable. I actually, you know, he's good on grass too, Cerundolo, right? I mean, the backhand.
He won a title. I mean, I think when he's hitting well, the conditions just don't matter.
Yeah, he's one of those players who can kind of just, you know, like he can kind of win a 250 in any condition, pretty much indoors.
He's already done that, yeah. I mean, I don't think he's won a hardcore title, right? But like he had the Miami runs.
Yeah, Miami semifinal. Oh, just missed the drop shot wide, but I don't hate the play because Cerundolo was so far back. Oh, Xian was asking who's the most famous person you guys have met. That's a good question. Who's like really famous beyond tennis?
The last question you have, Keen, or actually both, actually, Seger and Krach, I mean, I don't know if they split. I mean, again, they just have different scheduling ideas, right? Maybe they're going to come back to playing with each other, but like Ryan wanted to play Australia, Patrick wanted to be in Europe. Ryan probably is better than Patrick as well. I don't know if I'm too surprised, but we'll see. Maybe they come back to each other when they're playing in the same settings again. And what match have you guys attended where a player put in the least effort? This is very easy for me. It's definitely the Szczecin semifinal last year in doubles. That was Andrea Pellegrino, who basically didn't care, and he just decided that he wants to focus on the singles the next day. So he showed up, wasn't like moving, wasn't bending the knees. They weren't calling plays with Popko. The match lasted like 35 minutes or something like that. It was truly ridiculous.
No, for me, it has to be actually 2015 Indian Wells. I watched Eugenie Bouchard, who at the time was world number 5. And she was playing against Serenko, actually. Russia Serenko. And oh gosh, I don't know what was wrong with Serenko that day, but you know, that seems to happen to her quite a bit, where she has these days where she's, you know, she withdraws, she pulls out, she's hurt. And I think this time she actually played through whatever was bothering her and finished the match, but it was just very ugly. It was like 40, 45 unforced errors. And Serenko's like playstyle has shifted a lot, because when I was watching her in 2014 and 15, she was way more attacking, way more offensive, pulls the trigger way earlier, and now she doesn't play like that at all anymore. But back then she did. So it was just like, you know, a gazillion unforced errors, and Bouchard was the one who was putting the ball in the court and being more consistent. And she won 2-2, but I think it was like an hour maybe. And it just like none of the crowd was into it. And like Serenko's effort was pretty dodgy. So that's probably the one.
Yeah, that's the match that started your campaign against Serenko's walkovers and retirements.
Actually, probably no, that didn't start. I don't think that was a thing until like 2022, 2023.
I don't think
but it started to happen way often. I kind of forgot she existed for a lot of years because she just didn't really do anything relevant.
She had a US Open, like, what was it, quarterfinal, fourth round? Quarterfinal, I think. which I always forget that it happened, since
Yeah,
I don't know, for some reason it was just like not a story at all.
She always goes under the radar. Like she's never the main story for anything.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on the Basilashvili beef? Not Qatar not giving him a wild card.
Well, I didn't see it, but Ergi Kirkini was quite a peculiar wildcard, that's for sure. And yeah, I don't know about that question, like who's the most famous person you ever met. Other than tennis celebrities, I don't really know. Where would I meet somebody who's like, a proper celebrity, even outside the tennis world? I don't know. Anyway, in a few minutes, Joao Fonseca will be serving for the opening set.
Jose Mercado.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe I haven't met someone who's like over 200,000 followers on Twitter anywhere. It's possible that Jose Mercado is the most famous person I've ever met. I mean, for you, then it would be Ben, I guess.
I guess that's the equivalent to Jose, right?
It's pretty much the same.
But no, I will give you one name. There was this Indian like composer and singer that I met once when I was 12. Because I went to this like Indian event with my parents, and we were all like a really big fan of his music because he's in a lot of the movies that we watched, and he was doing a show concert in San Diego. So his name is Shankar Mahadevan, and he's actually, I mean, he's very, very famous in India. So I guess.
Yeah, but like met or went to a concert.
Met him, like my whole family met him.
Okay.
And he actually took song requests from fans in the crowd. So I actually had a song request, and he called on me. So that's probably mine. But yeah, he's like very, very famous in India.
Again, it's tough just not to go with tennis players, Probably Iga Świątek is the most famous person I've ever met, right? I mean, I don't really know who else it would be.
In tennis? Like met, interviewed, talked to?
Yeah.
I guess that would count, right? So probably Andy Murray. I did like a mixed zone interview with him in Miami last year. I mean, there were other journalists there, but I got a question in and everything, so.
I think that more or less counts. I mean, it's just, slightly more personal than just watching them on the court.
Yeah. Probably that would be it.
Maybe Joao Fonseca will one day be my most famous person ever met. Yeah, let's see. So far, I guess he was just broken in that opening, the second game of the match, but now serving for it and just trying to avoid something like what happened to him against Jera yesterday.
I guess on the women's side, it would have to be Jake's favorite player, Victoria Azarenka.
Okay.
Oh, maybe Swarna knows who Shankar Mahadevan is. I bet she would. She has to.
She or he, because no one knows who Swarna is.
Oh, I just assumed that it's a she.
Yeah, I did at some point too, and then it became a meme. Jake kind of started it. That there are some males.
I did have a brief chat with him. Yeah, my parents and I. So Probably have a picture with him somewhere. I'll have to dig for it.
What's happening in the 10th game, Bunch?
It
I'm
is
still like
15:30,
5 minutes away
and
from being able to focus on it.
15:30, excellent kick serve +1 in the open court. So now it's 30 all. So
Yeah,
this
try
kick
to.
serve, Cerundolo is basically his back foot is in the convoy sign almost. So good the kick serve was. And another really massive forehand at 30 all. Have I ever met Yo-Yo Ma? No, I don't think so. I would never have met him anywhere. Dustin Brown, underachiever? With the fact that he won a clay court challenger, I'm just going to say no.
He won 4 clay court challengers, I think. I mean, literally, clay was his best surface on the challenger circuit, which is wild. But yeah, there was that famous one he won at the Muratoglu thing, like Sofian Tipolis.
That's probably the one. That's probably the one that I remember the most. 2019 or something.
Yep. Krajinovic maybe in the final.
Right. That's the one.
Yeah, that was like really hyped. I remember there was a lot of media coverage of that event, and even though I wasn't following challenges daily at the time yet, I was also following that run for sure. Seems like the easy points for Fonseca, serve +1 here, are definitely giving him a real edge. And eventually, after 44 minutes, he is able to claim the opening set. 80% first serve points won, compared to Cerundolo's just 50. Cerundolo did win a lot more on second serve, but as we know, Fran puts a lot of his first serves in play. He's definitely like almost right behind
really nice
Baez and Zverev.
Really nice change up on the set point. 195 down the tee. And Cerundolo was fully expecting white again, the backhand and covering with a kick serve. And Fonseca just actually surprised him.
Yeah, gotta be ready for that kick serve when your kick serve to set up a forehand when you're playing Fonseca. And sometimes he's gonna go another way.
What do you think about his serve right now compared to Alcaraz? It's pretty comparable, no?
Joao, when he was like 16, he already had a good serve. Like he didn't have that much pace, but he was very intelligent about setting up the forehand. And that hasn't changed. The pace has gone up. Like if we remember the Alcaraz serve, I think 2021, so the year when he turned 18, was the one where from the start of the season to the end of the season, his speed on the first serve went like, I don't know, 30 kilometers an hour or something like that. It got increased like this. So I think right now they might be on a similar serve trajectory. Yeah. I think in 3 years, Fonseca will be serving much better than Carlos is right now.
Yeah, that's true. All of a sudden, Carlos started serving 130, 135 by the end of 2021, start of 2022. That's miles per hour, so I don't know what that is in kilometers, but
it's over 200. 200 is like 126 or something like that.
That's true. About 90% of the time, the player who hits the least amount of backhands in a match will win, unless your name is Benoit Paire. Then, yeah.
Yeah, it's a very underused stat. I think it should be in a lot more. It should be in a lot more like broadcasts, forehands to backhands ratio. It's very easy and very telling in many matches. There's just like some random players where you wouldn't really have that. But like, I don't know, every single match of Stefanos Tsitsipas, for example, you want to see a stat like this. How would I react if I met Robert Lewandowski? I'd say, hi, Robert. Nice to meet you. I mean, I wouldn't be starstruck, I don't think. But, as a Pole, obviously I have a lot of respect for him. He's like work ethic. But I'm not like the biggest fan ever. I'm also not a hater. There are some haters who are gonna say that like, if for Bayern and for Barcelona he'd get this goal, and for the national team, nah, because that's not for money. But I'm on neither side really. In English, no. I mean, I was saying that in Polish. I would say that in Polish, but like I wanted you to understand those. Well, Cerundolo starting the second set. There's a kind of like a tense dropper at the beginning of it.
Yeah, back-to-back drop shots in the net.
50% success rate.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Alcaraz has played a lot of doubles in his career at all.
Yeah, he had a long break. He was playing some at first, but then basically stopped, which is fair. I mean, I don't think you need it, but obviously some players have done it, and kind of like it improved their singles game too, just overall comfort level at the net. Well, looks like we will have a break point already in the
By
opening
the way,
game.
2 serves from Cerundolo at 30-15 and 30-0, both in the middle of the box. Very easily attackable.
First serve or second serve?
I think 30-15 was a first serve. 30-0,
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure. But Fonseca is so far back, so that's also like if he's not hitting a good spot, then it's going to appear very weak. Now we have
kind of like against Navone, was it? Joao is definitely prioritizing getting the return play, which makes sense against opponents like this, because if you move far back, like there's really no excuse. You have to make every return.
Yeah. This time he makes it, but he doesn't get a clean hit on it. So it actually lands somewhat shorter, and then like Fonseca is having to defend on the backhand, but Cerundolo does well to save the break point, so it's deuce. Oh, Fonseca did read it, and he got to the drop shot at deuce, but
yeah, I think he like slipped or something like this, right?
Yeah.
I mean, something was off there with the movement.
Right. It looked like he stopped, but as he was hitting the slice, he like slipped.
Okay, I announced victory. I am gonna be back to focusing on the match now. But well, I haven't lost all that much. I was still watching most of the points in the opening set. I know how it was won and lost. Let's see how this one will be won and lost. Cerundolo surviving this break point in the opening game. getting Fonseca on the stretch to the backhand corner, which seems to be also like the winning strategy against him a lot of the time now. That was quite a fun passing shot from Cerundolo cross court. He like doesn't fully hit through it, but more or less like just picks it up. And cool shot, but let's see how much it gives him in the game.
Yeah, Fonseca's ranking at the end of the year, honestly, like about the same as Sinner and Alcaraz, who were kind of just staying in that same boat, around 30, 40, something like that. Maybe in the 20s if things go really well.
Yeah, if he gets this title, 34, 20 something would be fairly realistic, I think.
Yeah.
Obviously today he's playing for just like 85 points, but sometimes that's the difference.
Yeah, if he wins this, he's gonna be at like 68 in the world.
Anyway, what's the fourth match there? Kecmanovic, Davidovich, Fokina. I only see 3 of them.
Match where?
Sorry,
what are you talking about? What match?
Kecmanovic, Davidovich, Fokina. I mean the head-to-head. I only see 3 matches, and that's including the Ningbo Challenger and the Next Gen Finals.
One of them is Wimbledon Boys Juniors.
Okay. Yeah, then probably we're not counting that.
So
but if someone wants to make the case, like, they are
I
allowed
got
to have
3-0
their own
and then,
opinion.
oh god, one of them is next gen finals. Okay, so then like really you don't have that many matches. You just have Basel was their last one in 2022. That's actually they haven't played each other much. They're like roughly the same age, right? I think they're both born in 1999.
Davidovich, Kecmanovic for sure. Davidovich, Fokina, I'm not positive, but maybe 18, maybe 98, maybe 99. But yeah, they are pretty much the same.
Yeah, 99. So they're
okay,
both 99.
both of them. Yeah, both very good juniors. Obviously, Miomir never got a slam, but he won both Orange Ball and Eddie Hare. Finished the year number 1. Davidovich Fokina, did he win a slam? He either won one or make a slam final. Either way, both were excellent juniors from that year. Joao Fonseca, of course, also got a slam. I don't think Cerundolo had the kind of achievements, but nonetheless, he's been on a very good curve. And,
he beat Lerner Tian to win his 2 biggest titles as of late.
Well, today, would it be the biggest title of his career? Depending on how you look at it, I guess. But I think we can say that.
It would, but I think the field was stronger in the next gen finals.
Fils, Menchik, Tien twice Vanache, and here you have Navone on clay, Jere on clay, Cerundolo on clay.
Not obvious.
It's not, and Echeverry on clay. I mean, it's easy to forget about the match he played against Edge because it was so easy, but like it's Echeverry on clay. I don't know. I think this is slightly more difficult.
Okay, yeah. Now that you listed them out like that, actually.
But yeah, you can make that case. Like it's not impossible to argue for in favor of your statement either.
So if this goes 3, who do you favor?
So far, I haven't seen any indications that Fonseca is hampered in any way. I mean, I guess it would depend. Like if Cerundolo like fires up and takes the last 4 games of the second set, just playing, blitzing out winners, then probably Fran. But I haven't seen any indication that Fonseca is struggling with that back issue from yesterday, or just in terms of the entire week. The fatigue of that.
Yeah, Sabre the Wild versus Jari in Miami last year was the best atmosphere of the tournament. All 2 weeks was just like, it was basically like these Golden Swing crowds. It was very, very similar.
Is Fonseca doing anything technically to upset Cerundolo, or is he just playing his game? I think he's, just like we mentioned, like against Fonseca, like against Navone, he's like making sure to make a lot of returns because there's no danger from Fran's serve really, and otherwise on serve he's playing his own game. Like there's not that much you can actually you have to avoid when you're playing Cerundolo, right? I mean, try to target the backhand. That's the case for 95% of players. Try not to give him the ball in order for him to just like kind of get into the rhythm. Yeah, sure, that's like the case against most players too. And then you're playing your own serve +1 game if you are Fonseca. But he's definitely returning like in order to try to start as many points as possible. Not always working out though. I mean, he has that return here that definitely should have been in.
Yeah. There was also the one on breakpoint that landed a little bit short. He made the return, but obviously it allowed Fran to just step in and tee off on the forehand. But for the most part, I thought he was getting the balance right from about 3-all in the first set to breakpoint in the second. Like there, he had a very good balance. Yeah, ADF won Wimbledon. He's actually very good on grass ADF. He likes a low contact point. He's slipping and falling all over the place. That's very grassy. And also he has the win over Hurkacz at Wimbledon. He has the infamous serve, underarm serve at 8-all in the fifth set super tiebreak in the third round against Runa.
Well, we'd have to like look at the list, Keen, about the worst backhand compared to their forehand. There's an easy answer in Chris Eubanks, I guess, or like Roka Bataya, right? Michalski. I can go Michalski. His backhand should not exist. If he could just hit inside or forehands, I think he'd make Grand Slam qualifying. But of course, that's not always going to be like that. And I did see how bad the whistling was at Premier League recently. Yeah. Did the players overreact? I'm not sure. I mean, obviously at darts, it's very common for... what is the case is that like it's very common for you to have huge noise. But when like literally ahead of you throwing the dart, you suddenly get something that's like completely new in that noise. Yeah, I don't think you can realistically throw a dart like this, especially in a sport that is so much about, concentration and like one move that you have to do right. I don't think they're overreacting to it. And there's going to be some changes in terms of the rules as well, in terms of what the umpires can do and stuff. Oh yeah, he beat Axel Geller. Okay, yeah, thank you, Jake. Axel Geller, of course, he played college and then retired right away after wrapping it up.
Okay,
Yes, so
nice
Fonseca serving at 1-2 now.
Is that like this little backhand drop shot cross court from Fonseca at love 15? He's also mixed in the serve and volley when he can, you know. So that kick service works pretty well, it seems like, against Fran. And now he's going to hit an ace out wide on the deuce as well. Hits the spot. Actually, Ozan, yeah, I do. I think darts and billiards are a legit sport because they require a lot of concentration, aiming, you know, precision. Like if you think about it in golf, it's kind of the same. I mean, sure, there's a little bit more power drive element to it, you know, but it's not like you have to be the fittest man in the world to play golf, right? So if we say
I
that
think
golf
I
is
always use archery as an example for darts. Like it's literally the same sport.
Mhm. But golf is like literally one of the most popular sports in the world, and in the US it's like 4th or 3rd.
Yeah, in Poland it just doesn't exist more or less, but I know it's, you know, it's pretty global. Well, 2-all. There was a clutch serve from Fonseca there. And it kind of set him up pretty well for the rest of the game. It does feel like he's like still kind of ahead in this one.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a feeling, really. Obviously,
Wouldn't
they are
that
like
be
even, but
like so great for Fonseca that he starts the week and ends the week in straight set matches against two of the highest ranked players that he faced.
And then in the the middle, he has these
The
all
middle
these
three,
battles.
yeah, and then the middle three he grits out these wins like.
So far, it just feels like we're waiting for Fran's game to crack again rather than for Joao. Let's see if that actually happens. The beginning of this 2-all game is not amazing for the Argentinian for sure. Yeah, also there's like some similarities with Cerundolo and Echeverri, I guess. You know, similar-ish results. Not really a similar peak, but like ranking has been more or less the same for a while. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotta be clutch from here. Cerundolo low 30. Let's see what he can do.
Yeah.
The next few points.
Fonseca's really feeling it right now. He's timing the surge. So he's gotta, you know, have a good serve here at love 30. Just try to get it on the front foot. This time the return goes pretty. Oh, actually, I thought that forehand was going to go out, but it's going to stay in. So they're in the point, and Fran is going to hit the drop shot. And this time it works really well.
Yeah, he's punishing Joao like a lot of the time for just standing.
I think Fonseca actually thought one of the first forehands was. Yeah, I think this first forehand, I think Joao actually thought it was out. So he like kind of stopped for a bit. He was expecting an out call.
I mean, sure, Sworna, I can't deny that, but like, I don't know what it means for it being a, you know, a sport or not. But I get the argument. I guess, you know, it's true. I didn't see any fights between the US and the Canadian team. Hockey is kind of wild with how much they like run into each other, or rather slide into each other. I guess.
I wonder if I'm Fonseca, I move in a little bit closer on second serve returns.
Yeah, I mean, he's just getting drop shotted to death right now.
You know. Even though, you know, you hit a good quality return, but if you're like just that far back, it's tough. On the first serve, I say stay there all day, you know. Second serve, move in a little bit. Let's see if
well, for now, it's working out though. I mean, this was such an easy +1 forehand for Fran, but he misses it anyway.
Oh, yeah. That's a freebie. You can't miss that. He had so much court to work with too.
That's kind of the problem with with Fran. Like, if we're thinking of him winning a big title potentially, like how does he avoid a performance like this?
There's also matches where he's just very lethargic, kind of going through the motions. Doesn't look like he's trying all that hard.
Ghost, yeah, shooting also counts, I think, for the darts archery comparisons.
But +1 forehand, that's a disappointing game. That's
another one, yeah.
Right there.
These aren't even like returns that are that deep from Fonseca. They are pretty high, but you gotta be able to handle this on clay.
Yeah, and he did handle it in the first game, right? It was the exact same kind of a points, but there he gets out of that game basically with the drop shot, and here he just missed 2 +1s. 30 all with his best shot.
I mean, Ozan, I don't think we can say that NASCAR is not a legit sport. Like, we have to eliminate all motorsports, right? Someone just texted me that Cerundolo is playing himself today. I mean, yeah, and I think Fonseca is pretty correct to recognize that. Yeah, that's
Fonseca is playing the match the right way because he's not just making 50 on forced errors. Like, he is actually playing smart. He's playing the moment well and the opponent well.
It doesn't have to be like this on every day against Fran, obviously, but today it's the strategy, and so far it's all good. 3 holds away.
I don't actually know what the atmosphere is like. I imagine it's really, really good for both players, but I haven't turned the volume on. Maybe towards the end I'll just turn it on a little bit. Just kind of get a feel.
Well, maybe now is where we separate boys from the men. Is this Pablo Cuevas, by the way, on my screen? I keep seeing this guy who looks like Pablo Cuevas. I don't know what he'd be doing here, but Soderling was like a ball basher almost, Keen. Liked his quick chords, liked his time on the ball, but yeah, I mean, he didn't really have many, let's say, intricacies in terms of his play stuff. That is for sure Pablo Cuevas. Thank you, Ozan. I thought I was going he has to be in the Cerundolo box then, right? I didn't know about this, but apparently. But good to know I'm not going crazy just yet, at least. That low 30 points. Well, Fran definitely didn't have to just run into this like that. Just had the ball at his stomach, basically. So 1 point has been covered by Fonseca. Nurlan, don't.
Sometimes with the backhand also, his footwork gets very stationary as he's making contact with the ball. So he doesn't he doesn't get the full benefit of the shot because he kind of just hits it with his legs straight or not really in that drive position.
If he doesn't
do it, the backhand is less of a weakness on grass. Like, I've seen him play matches against Tommy Paul and the Eastbourne title that he won.
Yeah,
and he's actually able to.
No, that's an important point for Fonseca. Going to the net, not doing a perfect job on the volley, definitely not, far from it, but he does survive with a couple of dodgy smashes.
Yeah. For Zverev, I don't know, 60%. I see where you're going with that. I think that's a little bit too high for me. It's more 50.
I'll be with you if he doesn't win one this year.
Between 50 and 55, just because he might not have to face Sinner or Alcaraz to win one.
Yeah, but assuming that his prime will be 3 years more, maybe. I think I'm gonna be in the less than 50% train after he doesn't win one this year. Of course, he only has 2 chances to win a slam this year.
Yeah.
Wimbledon is not an actual opportunity. I guess, just because if Alcaraz and Sinner lose, nobody else can play on grass. But I don't know if I buy it.
There's probably players I would put ahead of him, though, on grass. There's Hurkacz, there's Fritz, there's,
Better
I think they have a better chance.
Well, this game is definitely where we separate boys from the
I'd pick
men.
a healthy Berrettini on grass over Zverev. I would.
Yeah, in good shape like last year, I think he'd be the favorite. Well, this is definitely the game where we separate boys from the men now. I mean, Cerundolo with that forehand line, really opening up the court for himself. Again, getting Joao on the stretch to his backhand corner is like the winning play right now against him. One of the very few winning plays against him at the moment.
With this forehanded deuce, though, from Fonseca.
But yes, he is there. And at deuce, he commits like a completely random first error, not dealing with the height.
A little bit of a bad bounce, but
ball.
he just completely missed the contact.
Yeah, not dealing with the height on that ball too well. Maybe some of the height was not meant as you hinted at. But well, serve and volley.
Play here, break point down. That's champion stuff right there. You back your serve and volley, and he's so quick to charge to the net, and the serve, was plenty good, and he didn't try to make the volley too good. This was really well played. Break point down. We'll see if he gets out of this game, though. 3 volley winners so far as well for Joao. Yeah. This pointed deuce as well, the kick serve out wide. Above Francisco's strike zone.
I like the chances of Cerundolo to make a Roland Garros semi at some point, to be honest, Jake. But yeah, kind of have to see if he has that same consistency year after year. But Fonseca gets the game, so 6-4, 4-2. Is this the moment when he won, sort of just surviving a tricky, just a tricky situation, surviving that?
It's a really big game, because if he gets broken in that game, all of a sudden, it's...
Yeah, the momentum would have been like really against him, and now he's still way ahead. Not easy to get 2 holds on clay, especially, but it could be the moment that, like in 15 minutes, we're looking back at this game and thinking this was the last chance, the last call.
Yeah. Healthy Kyrgios, I'd pick over Zverev for sure on grass.
At Wimbledon, sure.
Yeah.
Any other slam, no.
Yeah.
I mean, he'd have a shot. Healthy Kyrgios had a shot in most matches against guys like this, but he wouldn't be the favorite.
US Open 2022, that was the one for him. He loses to Hachanov in the quarters.
Just hates the Hachanov matchup, I mean, you can see why, right? I mean, they pretty much serve, well, in the matchup at least, they serve more or less the same. And then Karen's just like so strong physically, so solid. And what can you do? Of course, he had a final that year as well at a slam, but the level that he had to serve at in order to keep up with Novak was just something you can't do every day, really. Well, we already got a peek from Durasovic Keen, so maybe now we should switch to the Ayupovic hype train. Yeah, seems like the days of healthy Kyrgios are in the past now. I mean, we were thinking Australia could be different, but it wasn't, and he seemed pretty down on his chances, right, to like really make it back. So
I had no hope for Australia, like none. I watched him play the match against Opelka in Brisbane, and I was like, "There's no way. There's no way."
I was talking about Australia, as a whole, not just Australian Open, but the entire swing. And
I didn't have any expectations. I was like, very sure
he
wasn't
Pecci
going to
Pericard, by the way, not Opelka.
Oh yeah, Pecci Pericard. Yeah.
Same player, you know.
Yeah, same difference.
In a way, it's the same player in the match at least.
Why do you think Kyrgios is so anti-Sinner at the moment? Honestly, he just loves attention, so he feels like he can use this as a good way to do that. Apart from that, I don't know. I mean, they once dated the same player. And I can't.
I don't think that's it, but fair.
No, but I think it should be mentioned. I don't know. I think maybe some of that is related.
He mentions that. I mean, he mentioned that with the second serve, right?
Yeah.
Tweet.
So clearly, that's something in his head.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like giving him much attention. When I just see those tweets, I just scroll past them. Him and Paviji, I see them, and I just ignore. Like,
well, still 2 holds away, but this is now another game, 6-4, 4-3. The previous one not really threatening the Cerundolo serve, not at all. But yeah, right now the focus has to be on just getting this advantage right to the end for Fonseca. Let's see if he can do that.
The Delray Beach final did start. You have Fokina and Kecmanovic on serve so far, 5 games in. Fokina up 3-2.
Could be ADF out of the best title, best player not to win a title category. How big is MMA in Poland? It's pretty big. Like most people will know a couple of fighters, like Mamet Khalidov or Jan Jędrzejczyk. But what's very popular is this, like, fame MMA, where like celebrities battle each other as well. But I think MMA has its following. I just don't really know anybody who watches it, but it's like on major TV stations. We do have a big market for it here. I just don't really have friends who watch it. But it's similar with like Speedway, I guess. It's like probably the second or third biggest sport in Poland. I just don't have any friends who follow it. But it doesn't mean that it's not popular, just not in my bubble. But I think MMA is definitely there. Yeah, Joanna Jędrzejczyk, I know. Karolina Kowalkiewicz, I think I've heard the name, but who could pull off a YouTube channel like Kasatkina on the ATP side? I think Steph tried. Dominic Thiem had one, right?
Probably Tsitsipas.
I think Casper would be a good.
Casper, yeah, Casper would be very good at that.
Just very like honest and insightful.
Maybe Dimitrov too. Maybe Dimitrov could do it. Sure. I think maybe Felix Auger-Aliassime. I could see him.
Well, there was a pretty random backhand cross-court error from Fonseca here in this game. He was like trying to go for a lot, but other than that, it's just spectacular serving, really. And he's able to get just one game away. The Brazilian fans are going a bit crazy. Brazil-Argentina, that's the first final, I think, since 2010. Santiago and Berrucci beat Monaco, maybe, that we have something like this. Of course, now it's also in Buenos Aires. But as we've learned this week, even when Fonseca is playing the Argentinians, Brazil fans also get their, like, they're very vocal. So it doesn't feel like the whole stadium is against him, I don't think.
We're talking about fearing the Fonseca forehand, but how about the backhand?
Well, Mariano Navone certainly didn't have much to fear in that match, but we know that the conditions were very heavy. And
very windy that day too.
Yeah, it was tough. I think it was very the rain was drizzling and everything, and when it stopped, the wind came in. So it wasn't an ideal day, but definitely, it's the shot that has like more off days than his forehand. But on a nice,
and of course, you'll remember that backhand on the line he hit at 30-40 at 3-5 against Navone.
Yeah, absolutely. The second match point save, sure.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want players to be doping, but I don't mind them taking drugs recreationally. I think that's stupid. So I guess I'm kind of with you, but kind of not in the same time. I think Stan was also already getting on the Sinner thing like 3 months ago too. Or maybe it was Iga, something like that. Anyway, he's had his, like, he's shared his opinion before. Did Basic win an ATP title? Honestly, if you look back at his run, it was pretty strong. But yeah, it was just the one of, indoors at the time. He was probably like a top 80 player for a moment at least. So it's not the most ridiculous thing ever, but definitely he stands out as one of the more random champions. I think it was also a Basic Kopil final, wasn't it? So it was pretty wild. But he beat Wawrinka on the way, if memory serves right, and I think there was one more big name. So it wasn't like completely random. John Millman was the worst of that lot? Of which lot?
Players to win one ATP title.
Oh, that's definitely not true, though, right?
Yeah, definitely not.
He was legit for a while.
Yeah.
Well, pretty quick game again. It does feel like Fonseca is just kind of set on his own serve.
I think kind of he was just focusing on the next service game. I don't think he really.
Yeah, I don't know if it's wise, but it's definitely what we've seen the last 10 minutes or so. That like
he looks ready to not have a blip like he did yesterday. We'll see. There will still be some nerves coming in, and
Oh, for sure, yeah.
We'll feel the moment. The crowd is going to get super on edge and excited. They've definitely embraced Fonseca really well, even though he's been playing Argentinians 4 out of the 5 matches.
Well, let's see. 5-4. Joao Fonseca serving for this. Obviously, it would be quite a monumental moment. Well, it's not like he would be like the youngest ATP Tour champion ever or anything like that. He's late by about 2.5 years. But anyway, a similar trajectory to like Sinner and Alcaraz. That would be more or less, just even strongly shown. But, well, it might not be that easy. Yesterday, of course, he was in total control against Jere up until 7-6, 5-3. Things don't go right there. And, well, Cerundolo probably won't be, like, going out of his way to try to finish off the point here. He knows that from a young guy like this, there might be some nerves. And so far, we are seeing it.
Yeah, a forehand overcooked beyond the baseline to start the game.
There's another unforced error coming too. So love 30. Was it also love 30? I think it was in that game right after he broke back.
Yeah, 3-2. 3-2 love 30. Okay, another error. This time, he had to work a little bit harder to run around the backhand.
It wasn't that game, or maybe actually it was, but there was a similar return that Fran missed already this set, where like it's love 30 and he gets that kicker to the backhand and it's just, there's no excuse. But he does miss it. So it's a first point of the game for Fonseca. He's now just 3 points away from winning the title.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's another one of these classic Fonseca plays. The kicker out wide, set up the forehand. This time doesn't go inside in, but inside out worked just as fine. So 30-all and 2 points away.
Yeah. This time didn't go super wide to the backhand, just kind of went a little bit more central, but it still worked. Especially with how far back Fran was.
Oh, but that's a horrible bounce considering the situation. At 30-all, Fonseca is trying to hit an aggressive forehand and it just completely whiffs. So Cerundolo will get a break point.
Yeah.
See, players not serving out stuff on clay is more frequent, but it's been a theme with Fonseca's week. Not necessarily even with him, but also with his opponents.
So let's see now how he handles this. Second serve here at 30-40.
Tierbat.
Oh, and backhand wide. So he does get broken just like he got broken serving out the semifinal at 7-6, 5-3 yesterday against Lazogera. Gets broken here. So new life for a friend. But we will see if Fonseca can reel it back in like he did yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday was looking pretty bleak. I mean, he has that medical timeout at 2-1 up in the third. And then after the timeout, he pretty much breaks Jera in like 75 seconds and doesn't lose a game from there. But yeah, when he choked the second set away like this, and there was also a physical thing, yeah, you couldn't really be sure. But well, at 5-all, he is out rallying Cerundolo in a longer exchange. Again, not doing all that much to get this error, but it's there, and Fran, well, it still doesn't feel like he's like adjusted that much. The Cerundolo brothers are playing at the same time, I guess. As you guys know, John is watching the matches in Rio. Pretty tough to watch them though live because they're all at the same time. Oh, this is so sloppy with the footwork from Fran.
Again, it's another one of those backhands where he just doesn't move his feet at all.
Which point are you talking about?
Oh, I was talking about the first point of the game, but looks
okay.
like we'll be one again on the second point.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about the forehand on the second point, but both of them, yeah. I mean, very sloppy.
Same thing. He was very stationary. Didn't move. Didn't get underneath the ball. Just waited for the ball to come to him. It dropped so low, and he just hits it in the net. It's like I knew before he made contact with it that was going to go in the net. It's based on how stationary.
Yeah, I think the forehand was worse just because the court was so open, and yet
he
he's
actually
just
hit
like
a good
so
serve.
lethargic.
But yeah, that's sometimes the problem. Love 30. Here they're gonna go backhand to backhand, and so far it looks like Fonseca has the edge with that inside-out forehand, and he's gonna try to. Oh, and there's that venomous forehand down the line.
Yeah, that's a rocket. That's the shot that won him the US Open 23 against Lerner Tien, and maybe that's the shot that's gonna win him this title. Something is happening in the crowd at 3 break points down. Not the perfect moment. I wonder if it's going to be. No, it's not an injury. The security is just talking to some people who maybe aren't behaving right. I don't really know. They're playing.
Okay.
They're going to be playing soon anyway, so probably not worth to focus on that too much.
Okay. Yeah, the thing about this matchup is that even when Fran breaks, you just don't have that much confidence that he can consolidate his advantage with the kind of serve that he has. It's pretty much in the Sebastian Baez territory where it's, and I don't know. I mean, for a guy who's 6'1", 6'2", maybe, pretty tall, doesn't get nearly enough out of it.
I'll tell it to Thomas Martin Echeverry.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it's just an Argentinian thing.
I think it is.
So, I mean,
because they grow up on clay, they barely play on hard courts, and they simply aren't, like, these skills aren't that important in their development, right?
Yes.
Like, they are basically tailored for clay courts from the very beginning of their lives. And, well, it's just, at least until some point, like, nobody is thinking 10 years ahead. Well, we had a horrible bounce on the Fonseca serve in the previous game. And now it looks like, with a similar one, but it was a deep return, Fonseca will break again. So it's a 6-4, 6-5 situation. He's going to have another chance at it. Now I'm seeing a replay of this, and yeah, it's just the same thing. Cerundolo whiffs completely.
It reminds me of the one that Federer hit on match point in the 2010 Madrid final versus Rafa. Just a whiff.
Yeah. That was like pretty close to the net, though, right?
Yeah, that wasn't as far deep. Like, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was like, obviously he was pushing for it to be a half volley, and that can be very difficult on clay. There's a Steph famous backhand where, like, he completely whiffs on it.
I don't think it was near the net, though. I think it was in between the service box and the baseline.
Okay, maybe I'm thinking of a different point then.
Or maybe it was deep in the service box. Yeah.
I was thinking of like a half volley forehand. There's a few famous ones from this match, though. Maybe it's a different point that I'm thinking of.
No, this was like match point. Championship point.
Yeah, I'd have to see it. Maybe I'm thinking of that one. Maybe I'm thinking of another one. Anyway, yeah, I mean, if you're trying to take it pretty early on clay, you expect it, but that probably wasn't really the case for either Fonseca or Cerundolo. Anyway, Joao Fonseca, second chance to serve for his first ATP Tour title. Hasn't gotten to a championship point yet?
Nope. Oh, by the way, Davidovich Fokina did take the first set. I'm not watching that match because I'm so enthralled with this one. And I could have this one on the screen next to me, but I don't know. I just want to watch this first. And then I'll tune into that one later.
Yeah, I might not even, but I'll see, I guess. I still have some work to do today. Well, not that much, I guess, but I might not even turn it on. We'll see.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a very good start to the game from Joao.
It is. That's something he didn't have on that previous hold where he was down low 30 from the very start. And I don't think he hit a forehand like this the entire game. But can he avoid another dicey finish here? Echeverry has one of the most underrated serves on tour. Really? I mean, there was a moment last year when on hard courts he was getting a lot of action with it. Maybe I was going for like serves that could be better in the future or something like this, like serves that could still improve. like he's super tall, but he doesn't do that much of it. But maybe that was in that moment when it seemed to be improving, and like his forehand was on hard courts it was really doing damage. Australia last year or thereabouts. I'd have to know when that happened. Did Joao get tied? Sort of.
Yeah.
You know, not to a point where like he can't play, but definitely to a point where, yeah, it's just not easy to close out.
Yeah, that time he kind of went too close to the lines on that forehand. But you know, when he's one of those players, when he gets tight, he goes bigger.
Yeah, it could be a good decision, could be completely wrong.
Yeah.
But you know how he's gonna go out, if he's going to go out. Well, this is getting very dicey again. And at 30 all, you've got another one of these forehand errors where you're thinking, okay, yeah, like this is a clear example of him getting tight, just like messing up the timing completely. Not even like a right decision or a wrong decision, but it's clear there's some tightness in the actual, you know, muscles and stuff. He already had a beautiful comeback this week against Mariano Navone. Maybe this will be the opposite of that. I always kind of like this when it happens in tennis, you know, just it very much shows that like no one is a choker 100% of the time, you know. Some people are obviously more inclined to do it, but basically everybody is the choker and the chokey sometimes. The recipient of a choke. I don't think there's a word for it, but we might call it a chokey. Well, ladies and gentlemen, very long rally at breakpoint. Joao Fonseca is the one to crack first. I mean, maybe some hesitation there. There was that down the line corridor was open with the backhand, but he like doesn't fully get his feet planted onto the ground and doesn't like go after it completely, and ends up going overboard with this. So we are in the breaker now. He had 2 chances to serve out this title. Not quite there yet, but now the question is what Fran Cerundolo can cook up in this breaker. We still haven't seen Fran play his best tennis today.
No, some of that he hasn't been allowed to, with the way Fonseca's had the edge on the serve and return and just the forehand firepower and stuff. But I don't know. If I'm Joao, I'm still not. I mean, yeah, I'm feeling it. I'm pretty tight, but this tiebreak really could go either way. So it's not the worst position to be in. He didn't have this luxury yesterday.
Well, and of course, Cerundolo starts it with a forehand unforced error. So
yeah, he's made way too many of those today. Like way too many. Just like these are situations and points that you have to be more solid than that. And
gonna have to be more efficient for sure in this breaker. Well, jaws on the floor as Fonseca gets that's not a mini break. He already has the mini break, but gets a ridiculous backhand down the line in for 2 love in the breaker. That's the shot that he was sort of looking for in the breakpoint last game, but like didn't have the guts to fully go after it. He does now.
Yeah, you can see he hesitated a little bit when he was going for it at breakpoint. And now he does a really nice job. He just redirects it. Doesn't take a full swing, actually. Just kind of shortens it up a little bit, squares it up perfectly, and just guides it down the line. So it was perfect. But now 2 love. And we're gonna have another forehand winner.
Yeah.
Fonseca.
Kind of out of position on the counter, but it's ridiculous. And well, he just turned into God again. Let's see.
Okay, that is full bore. That is a full bore slap. That is Del Potro. Like, bring out the Thor hammer. Like, that is full on Del Potro right there. That forehand.
What's the name of Thor's hammer? Trivia question.
don't know. I don't remember.
I think it's pretty similar to the first name of a player playing the final in Delray today.
Mjolnir?
Fairly similar. Yeah, it's like Mjolnir or something like that.
Okay, yeah. I don't know, but that's a good trivia question.
Not really tennis related.
So, love 3. Oh, Joao is really feeling it right now. You can just see all of his shots have way more MPH and just more control. And oh, that forehand is another. Cerundo's made 2 forehand errors that you can't. Like, that's just 2 gifts and 2 really good shots so far. Like, 1 forehand winner that was really good, 1 backhand winner that was really good, and then these 2 unforced errors that Brian just can't.
Yeah, he did a lot of like decent work trying to get back into this match when Fonseca was serving for it. Obviously, most of that was just like staying a bit more consistent, and he's just not able to do it so far in the breaker. So too many breaks, Fonseca. Again, you'd think that's game over, but yeah, so far we've obviously seen him wobble close to the finish line, so it doesn't feel like it's over yet for sure.
Yeah. It does well to win this point though. So it's 2 breaks, but it's still some work to do. He'll feel really good if he's switching the change of hands at 5-1 instead of 4-2. That will feel really good. Okay, it looks like that was that actually. I may be behind you. Probably I am.
Well, you are quite a lot, but I'm adjusting.
He goes for the same serve again down the tee, and then he just absolutely fires that forehand with insane pace.
Yeah, that was another Del Potro-ish technique.
Yeah. But I love it because it's not like he's going for the lines or anything. These are like safe shots. But he has so much acceleration and such good timing and such a lively arm that it just sounds very different coming off of his racket. Oh, that's a beautiful volley. I love how he got low for it and got underneath the ball and really good net approach. He now has 5 championship points.
Yeah, I mean, now you gotta think it's over more or less when he has 5 championship points, but let's see what Fran can do.
Yep. Let's see. Fonseca's going to go for the backhand line, and he now has... Okay, well, does really well to stay in the point, and wow, on the final forehand, he's going to finish with an absolute corker and just crushes that ball, falls to his knees on his back, clay all over his back, as he has done it. The first of many titles, surely, for this brilliant player. And yeah, I mean, it didn't come without its tough labor, this week, right? Three setters. This was certainly really challenging at the end just to get over that line. Had 2 chances to serve it out, but then he just plays a phenomenal tiebreak and didn't put a foot wrong. Wins at 7-1. Yeah. very impressive.
Yeah, definitely. Like played until serving for it. He just played the match, the situation, the opponent very well. In the sense that okay, this was not Fran's best day at the office, not at all. But Joao made sure to make a lot of returns in play. Like I wonder if this was also caused by what happened in the Navone matchup where he had to do it. And it's similar with Fran, who's like not using his first serve at all here, just basically using it as a point starter. And of course, there's that nervy finish. You see a lot of hesitation in how he's approaching these 5-4, 6-5 games. But there's nothing of that in the breaker. The breaker is just winners left and right. And yeah, basically this time he's like so quick to decide that, you know, I'm going for this ball and I'm gonna just like wrap it up every single time he chooses perfect. I don't even remember what point he lost in the breaker, but yeah, I mean, obviously like 3 or 4 amazing winners in that one. And it's definitely ahead of the, you know, on the trajectory of tennis development. Joao Fonseca is doing very well right now.
He's on that similar type of curves. Alcaraz and Sinner for sure, winning a title at 18. It's like what Alcaraz did in Umag in 2021. He does it here at home. And he beat a series of pretty good players to do it, you know. Echeverry and Cerundolo to start the tournament is already pretty well done. Navone made the final last year in Rio, and he beat Fonseca along the way. And, you know, he certainly could have lost that match, but you know, the 4 games run that he went on at the very end, and he saved those match points. This will be a tournament to remember for sure for the Brazilian. And yeah, I mean, expectations are big. They're huge. People are just kind of expecting the same linear trajectory that Alcaraz had to continue for Fonseca. Of course, he's still going to take his lumps along the way. He's still going to learn. He still has a lot to learn, but you know, he has very good maturity and poise already, and some of the just also the way he played this final strategically overall, he played it really smartly in terms of not going for too much, in terms of making those second serve returns when he had to, and then turning up the dial in the second set tiebreak when everything was even. So.
Yeah, I saw a comment on Twitter now which said, I am so glad I got to see him play a challenger because he will never play one again. True. I didn't actually see him playing a challenger, but I did watch him in Ashtori last year. And it might be my last time watching Joao Fonseca live, possibly. But at least I had the opportunity, even to ask him a question as well in the mixed zone. We only got 2 in English, but one was from me, one was from John. And well, yeah, he's just not going to be playing any challengers. Obviously, he's progressed. He's advanced up to 68 in the live rankings, as Sean says. He has the Rio quarterfinal to defend. Let's remember that. So it's like 100 points dropping next week. But obviously, getting 250 here is covering for a lot. And I think that's, yeah, it's virtually impossible for him to fall out of the top 100 at any point this year now, even with the Bucharest quarterfinal coming up as well. Which is 50 points. Yeah, I think with these 250, it's obvious he's going to stay there. Now he's got Rio, where he's got a special exempt. Of course, if he didn't get that, he would have had a wild card. Physically, it might be pretty tricky to try to go back-to-back, but if he can just get 2-3 matches, that would already be a solid showing. And yeah, I mean, he's done his work for the Golden Swing. I think he can really approach Rio and Santiago with a pretty clear head.
Yeah, and I wouldn't put it past him to win another one of these titles and coming up in Rio and Santiago. It's going to be tricky, like you said, different conditions. Also, physically, it was quite a workload that he had this week. But, yeah, I think getting to the quarters is pretty good. If he can defend the points that he had last year, that's a decent expectation.
He is, of course, the first 2006 born player to claim an ATP Tour title. 2005, I guess we had Yun Cheng Shang last year. Is that the only one? Maybe. Has he played against anybody inside the top 20 apart from Humpert Rublev? Hampered by what? Fields was number 20 at the Next Gen Finals, so that's the only 2 matches he's played against top 20 opposition.
Yeah, Fields and Rublev.
I don't think at this point though it really matters. Like we all have eyes,
Is he
right?
going to be in the main draw for Indian Wells? Or was his ranking high enough 6 weeks before Indian Wells starts?
Well, we already have the Indian Wells entry list, so let me
Okay, so
quickly look at
he's
that.
on it then, right? I think
Well, he
should be
definitely
on
will be in Miami. But for Indian Wells, I don't think that's going to be enough.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, that's I wasn't
Yeah,
sure
he's
because
like pretty deep down the qualifying list actually. So.
Oh. Damn, I would have given him a wild card, but okay.
I mean, they might, you know.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully they do because I think he would.
I think Miami is obviously the event that usually does it to like young players from all sorts of settings because of IMG and stuff like that.
Hopefully he gets one for Indian Wells too, because I don't know, having to play qualifying.
It's possible. It's possible, but like at the same time, you know, why wouldn't he play Indian Wells qualifying?
I'm confident he'll come through the qualifying there, but
yeah,
it's.
I don't think he had a Miami wildcard either in previous years, but I think Miami should be. Well, he won't need one for Miami, but if he did, I think it would be a lock. Like Miami is actually an event that very often does just give wildcards to young players, even if they're not IMG or like, you know, whatever the agencies are. But Indian Wells, I think it's a possibility. Like it's a special case enough. Like it's a case that's special enough for them to make the exception, I believe. Does this make me want to try On Running shoes? If they send them to me for free and I can do like a Twitter review, yes. If not, definitely not.
By the way, also watching Fonseca this week wearing On and looking like perfect in it. It's just like it suits him to the T, doesn't it? Like the colors, like the pink and the black and white, the yellow and. All just
there's definitely a theme with the players that they're going for, you know, and I think Fonseca fits that theme. Koboli is probably the one that's like a little bit out of it, but at the same time, maybe you can see it. But like, yeah, Burnett, Shelton, Fonseca, you can see what they're going for more or less, and these players do fit the brand. No Fonseca in Estoril, probably, yeah, he would have to have a pretty poor 2 months now and get eliminated early in Madrid. But if he's like top 40, yeah, I doubt he'll play Estoril. I'm not gonna like fear it though. You probably will, considering that Fonseca is getting all these clicks on social media. But I mean, I've seen Fonseca. I've asked the question to him. I'm fine. You know, I obviously would like to watch him more, but I know that on the Challenger Tour, it's just not going to be happening anytime soon. And probably never. Cubing for Life was asking about what rank do you think Fonseca is going to get? Sorry, there were similar questions like this earlier. Tough to say, but
20 in the world is not
20 would be amazing, right? This year.
Yeah. If he is finishing the year inside the top 20,
that would be amazing.
Yeah. That right now, I wouldn't be shocked.
I wouldn't be shocked either, but that would be kind of like the top bar for me. I think top 10 it's a little too early.
Yeah, top 10 I'd be surprised. I mean, he'd need to win a big title or something, or a final, or
just make a lot of deep runs at events like this. I don't know, make a slam quarterfinal at least somewhere. Yeah, I think top 10 is too early. Top 20 is kind of like the top bar, and for now he's on track. Let's just say that, because he's gotten a lot of points already. Won Canberra, won a round and qualified for Australia, which I think is like 80 points now. Canberra is 1-5 and now 250 here. How high is he actually in the ATP race? Is it like a top 20 spot for now? Yeah, I think it's easily a top 20 spot actually. Yeah, it's number 13 with this title. 477 points. Just 23 points behind Sonego, who is number 10. So yeah, I mean, he's clearly on track for a top 20 finish. He might fall off at some points. There might be setbacks. I mean, he's so young. There will be setbacks. But yeah, I think top 20 is not a stupid shout. Definitely not. I think it's a possibility.
Yep.
40-ish would be a disappointment. 30-ish, maybe 2. Like seeded for Australia, maybe is like the minimum expectation.
40 would be disappointing now because he's 68 right now. So, and it's only.
Yeah, maybe
he's
seeded for
14 back in
Australia
the US.
is like the minimum target, let's say.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, yeah, the Golden Swing double is definitely on.
Yeah, seems like Juan Manuel Cerundolo heard about the Fran loss. He is now 3 set points down to Jaime Faria after leading previously. John is probably following that, considering Jaime Faria is a friend of the show. Ugo Delian also up a set there, and Ugo Carabelli over Barrios Vera. Some very good matches. Rio is going to be next week. Maybe just before we go, actually, it's already 1-1 in the Davidovich-Fokina Kecmanovic final. Okay, that was a rapid couple of sets.
I'm going to be checking out that third set after this.
Yeah, what the hell is that? So yeah, let's do one more thing. What can you tell me about the Fonseca draw in Rio and like how manageable his first few opponents are? First up, he's playing Alexander Miller.
Yeah, and I think he also has Echeverry in his section.
Yeah, Mute, Echeverry, and Cerundolo in his section too.
Oh wow, okay.
In his quarter, Cerundolo, I guess.
And he's in the same half. Is he in the
as
same
Zverev.
half of Zverev? Okay, so then that could be a potential semi. So, okay. And Zverev, apart from Nicholas Jarry, I don't see anybody else that's beating him before the semis. So it depends in terms of. I mean, it's good that he's going to be. It's basically the same field as here. It's not too different.
No, it's like 2 or 3 players that are going to be different besides the qualifiers and the wildcards. Yeah.
Actually, you know what would be wild if he plays Mute? That would be something completely different, completely a new test. You know, that could pose some unique challenges. So I would be more excited about that if it happens than Echeverry again. Because like
Alexander Miller
in the first round, like
I mean Alexander Miller though, tough opponent. Just like gritty. Well, he's going to try to grind him down, and we're just gonna have to see if Joao is ready for it.
Yeah, I think that's where like a win like Navone really helps him, just in the bag, just knowing he can pull out matches like that. Navone and Korea. Jera a little bit lesser to an extent, but still, similar.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but if you told me right now if he's gonna win the title,
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no. I don't think it's
I'm gonna
possible.
say no too. I wouldn't predict it, but
I don't know where he's gonna go out, but I think it's kinda impossible to do it, just like on a physical level.
I mean, what if he doesn't play until? I mean, it's Sunday right now. He'll probably have to play on Tuesday, actually. So it's
theoretically, I've seen instances where they pushed a first round match to Wednesday, but it's rare in an outdoor event for sure.
Okay, so maybe an extra day of rest would help, and then it comes through Muller in straight sets, or like he would just need to be more efficient than he was this week.
Probably, yeah.
It'll be a new test to manage his body, and I honestly don't care how Rio goes. Like the fact that he wins this, it just takes a lot more pressure off of him. At the same time, there will be pressure though, because he's playing at home. Fans will expect a ton. Tournament organizers will be praying and hoping that he wins every match. And so yeah, I can't say there won't be any pressure. There will be some, for sure. Especially
to some extent, it's a free hit, but because it's in Rio, because it's at home, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Ozan, I cannot translate Fonseca's acceptance speech for the viewers. I already told you I don't know Spanish. I mean, I used to, but I don't. But yeah, I'm not even watching it, so that's also another reason why I can't translate it.
But yeah, in terms of, I don't know, anything else, larger picture, social media, probably like the mainstream more of the mainstream fans are catching on to his name and his potential.
Yeah, there's still gonna be people saying that, like, oh yeah, he's not that good because he lost to Jan Choinski in November, but who cares? I mean, we all have eyes. I think that's kind of something I said like 30 minutes ago, and we all have eyes. This title this week doesn't even change my opinion on Fonseca that much, but it was good to see him have to figure out stuff, and like he wasn't perfect at it, but he still had some pretty good moments, and just showed us a brand of tennis we didn't really see him trying to execute yet. And he was doing pretty well at all this, improvised stuff.
Okay. I think we can leave it at that.
Yeah, I think we should leave it at that, definitely. Ozen says that Fran apologized to the crowd for not performing better. That's a shame for him. He hasn't won Buenos Aires, right? He lost the final to Schwartzman, which was also like similar. Well, it was worse. It was like 6-1, 6-2. So I think that's going to be something on his mind, probably, to win this event at least once during his career.
Yeah.
I think he's won Mark Bostad and Eastburn, right?
Yeah, 3 titles. But I think he could have played better than he did. Definitely not his best showing for sure in the final, but not the worst either. So
no, after what he was doing in the last 2 rounds, he would have expected a stronger performance, 100%. Fonseca just adjusted to the fact that Cerundolo wasn't playing well, and that's that's something that we can definitely praise him for. But yeah. This was not Fran's best day at the office, so it's a shame, and then especially as it means so much for him, clearly. All right, I think we'll leave it at that. Kecmanovic, Davidovich, Fukina. Let's see that third set, and tomorrow I think is going to be ATP Weekly at a yet to be decided time. Of course, also guys, check out whatever John is gonna get you from Rio today. Anyway, thank you, Vansh, and thank you to everybody in the chat. It was cool to watch this. Well, historic moment with you?
Yeah, I think so. I think we can look back at this, and even 12 months from now, and it'll still stand out, and we'll still have good memories of the whole week, but also this match, the final. It was definitely worth doing, and I'm sure it'll do pretty well in terms of views and engagement. There were already so many comments, so many people coming in the chat, so that was really fun. And thank you, Damien. Thank you, everyone. And cheers.